So good morning everyone. Today we're talking about the validation and validity. So what is the purpose of validation? The purpose of validation is to determine the characteristics of the whole test itself, namely the validity and reliability of the test. Validation is the process of collecting and analyzing evidence to support the meaningfulness and usefulness of the test. So, ang validation is about checking if ang test is good and trustworthy. It's also the process of gathering and studying information to make sure the test is accurate, consistent, and useful. So that is the purpose of validation. So now let's proceed to the validity. So validity is the extent to which a test measures what it purports to measure, or as referring to the appropriateness, correctness, meaningfulness, and usefulness of the specific decisions a teacher makes based on the test results. So validity, it means how a test actually measures what is supposed to measure. No? Unsaon pag-measure. It also talks about the appropriateness and correctness sa test. In short, the validity is about making sure the test is useful and accurate for its purpose. So next, we have the three main types of evidence. First is the content-related evidence of validity. Refers to the content and format of the instrument. So from the name itself, content means ang sulod mismo. So, the content mismo. So, kining content-related evidence of validity means checking if the test content is appropriate. Does the test cover right topics? Does it represent what students are supposed to learn? So, in short, it's about making sure that test matches the lesson or subject it is supposed to measure. So, the second one is the criterion-related evidence of validity. Refers to the relationship between scores obtained using the instrument and scores obtained using one or more other tests, often called criterion. So, kining content-related evidence of validity means checking if the test content is, criterion, criterion. So, it means checking if the test results are similar to results from another trusted test. So, dinhi, you compare the two scores from your test with one scores from your another test, which is called the criterion. So, mag-compare ka sa imong una nga trusted nga na test and then sa imong ikaduha nga na test. And if the result are close or related, your test is valid. If ang duha ka result sa test is relate sila, it means valid siya. It's about making sure your test matches or agrees with other reliable tests. So the third one is the construct-related evidence of validity. Refers to the nature of the psychological construct or characteristic being measured by the test. So construct-related means checking if the test really measure the specific skill or ability it's supposed to measure. It's about making sure the test is accurately measuring the intended skill or trait. So there is a contract-related evidence is ang skill or ability mismo sa students ang gi-measure. The usual procedure for determining the content validity may be described as follows. The teacher writes out the objectives of the test based on the table of the specifications and then gives this together with the test to at least two experts along with a description of the intended test takers. The experts look at the objectives, read over the items in the test and place a check mark in front of each question or item that they feel does not measure one or more objectives. So, to check the validity, so the teacher does this. First, the teacher lists the learning objectives, often using the table of specifications. After that, the teacher gives the test and objectives to at least two experts. And then, katong two experts kay, after niya ma-receive, iya to siyang the each questions, iyang i-check if it matches the objectives. If a question does not measure the objectives, they mark it. Expert check test to make sure all questions are relevant and aligned with what should be learned. In order to obtain evidence of criterion-related validity, the teacher usually compares scores on the test in question with the scores on some other independent criterion test, which presumably has already high validity. Criterion-related validity is also known as concrete validity because criterion validity refers to a test correlation with a concrete outcome. So, to check the criterion related, so that ang buhaton sa teacher, they compare the scores from their test with scores from another trusted test already known to be valid. So, if the scores are similar or closely related, the test is considered valid. So, a test is valid if its results much agree with a trusted real-world measure. So, if ang duha ka test i-compare and then ang kato duha ka test is nagmatch ilang result, it means na ang test is valid. So, we have two types of criterion-related validity. So, first is the concurrent validity. It is a type of criterion validity that measures how well a new assessment aligns with a previously established gold standard measure administered at the same time. It ensures a new tool is accurate by comparing its results with existing ones, often used to prove that a shorter or cheaper test works as well as longer one. So the concurrent validity means checking if the test works well by comparing it with a trusted test at the same time. If a new test gives results similar to a trusted test taken at the same time, it has concurrent validity. So the second types of criterion is the predictive validity. So is the extent to which a test assessment or measure accurately forecast future outcomes, behaviors, or performance, acting as a crucial tool for validation in psychology, education, and employment. It determines if current data correlates with future real-world criteria. So predictive validity. So from the word itself, predictive means imong na-predict ang unsay mahitabo sa future. So predictive validity means how well a test can predict future results. Sample, you take a test now, then you check later. If the results match what actually happened in the future, if they match the test, then it is the predictive validity. Imong na-predict unsay mahitabo sa future. So in summary, content validity refers to how will the test items reflect the knowledge actually required for a given topic area. So example, math. It requires the use of recognized subject matter experts to evaluate whether test items assess defined outcomes. Does a pre-employment test measure effectively and comprehensively the abilities required to perform the job? Does an English grammar test measure effectively the ability to write good English? So, in short, content validity means checking if the test questions really cover what should be learned or measured. It's about making sure the test fully and properly reflects what it is supposed to measure. So that's all my topic all about. Thank you for listening.